Important to note that the Nordic hamstring curl, it might not want to be the first exercise when you're looking at your leg day for the Nordics. It is a long way to go down. So another way that we can kind of scale that is just by having the Nordic hamstring curl. We'll need to set this at its lowest setting. Same thing with the pins. We'll run them inside to outside. Same thing, grabbing onto the Bulgarian pad to pull up a little bit. I'll be making use of our hip thrust pad as well. So the hip thrust pad we're going to be using as our tall kneel pad to elevate our body, help to secure the roller pad underneath our feet a little bit more. So again, this isn't in a fixed position. I can slide this up any way I need to, given the length of my legs, to try and anchor myself in a little bit more. I'll position myself down onto the pad, one knee at a time.
If you want to see more videos like this, be sure to subscribe to our channel so you get the updates as soon as possible.
I can either fish the leg straight under. It can be a little bit hard on the foot to do so. I may want to be in this kind of modified frog stretch position where I can just tuck both legs under at the same time. Then I want to position the body forward enough where the roller pad will be above my ankle, but below the belly of the calf here. If I'm able to push down with the toes, I can push down with the toes, or I'm pulling up with my feet into the roller pad. I'm squeezing my glutes and hamstrings. I'm already into this kind of tall kneeling position with a slight lean forwards. We're contracting the glutes and the hamstrings as we slowly lower ourselves down. Important to note that the Nordic hamstring curl, it might not want to be the first exercise when you're looking at your leg day for the programming. It is quite a lot more of an intense hamstring exercise, so maybe you're warming up a little bit more with some lighter dumbbell, kettlebell deadlifts as well, or any other kind of a hinge-based pattern, just to make sure that the glutes and hamstrings are a little bit more warmed up. For the Nordics, it is a long way to go down. So another way that we can kind of scale that is just by having something in front of us that can support our body weight. And the higher that is, the more easier, the more approachable that's going to be for us. So from this standpoint, I like using the Bosu ball as well because we can get a little bit more of a rebound for ourselves bouncing off. So I'll still set up in that position, tucking both under. So now this gives us more of a stopping point, where I don't need to go down all the way. Even if I don't brace with the hands, I know that I have that chest to kind of catch myself. But I can also be in a position where we are using the hands to kind of control that part of that movement. Alternatively, plyo box, platform, anything that you can have to kind of scale that height a little bit more adjustable versus the height of the Bosu ball. This gives us something a little bit more firm now, a little bit more rigid. Everything stays the same with how we're sitting in, making sure that that roller is above the foot, below the bulk of the calf, hips forward, squeezing the glutes and hamstrings. Arms are braced at the side. We're controlling that descent. Now I have something a little bit higher off, where I can kind of push myself off. So we're still able to control that descent. Now just that stopping point is a lot more scaled. There's one more option that we can use with the stability ball. For our stability ball option, it's a little bit more of a modification to a stability ball, almost like rollouts, where I'd be positioned as a bit of a bridge off of the ab wheel roller. Instead of just moving on with the arms though, we're still anchored in at the feet, which would be great to help us off with our glutes and our hamstring engagement. Now my hands are going to be barely braced off on the ball. So I can even just go tips of the fingers. And I'm trying to walk myself down, but I'm still keeping everything tucked here. I'm still squeezing the glutes and the hamstrings to control that descent back. Now from the lowest part of that movement, it can be hard to come back up. So I can just shoot the butt and the hamstrings back towards my pad. Or I can just walk myself down to a position where I know that I'm able to walk with the hands back up and pull myself back up with the glutes and the hamstrings. One of the more challenging parts about this one is just how much slower that we are going. So finding that appropriate height to be able to pull ourselves back with the glutes and the hamstrings to get the kind of top and bottom part of that movement. Or as I mentioned, we're just shooting the glutes and the hamstrings back. There's a Nordic hamstring curl with a bunch of different variations, progressions, regressions for you to try. Thanks for watching.